find some way to enhance the issue of climate change, and as well as is there any substitute in the production?
Yeah, I think certainly in Australia we don't really have policymakers. It's a totally free market, so the policymakers, if you like, are the companies themselves. So they are dealing with climate change and also a very large oversupply at the moment, because we've learnt in Australia that we're not the logical place to make the cheapest wine in the world, and unfortunately in too many markets around the world we're still trying to compete at the bottom level of prices. So we have an imbalance there, and that's going to take some time to work through. Basically it means we probably have to rip out about 50,000 hectares plus of vineyard, and we're not doing that quickly enough. So we're out of balance at the moment. Then in terms of the climate change, it's actually helping a lot of the cooler areas. Our cooler areas, which make more elegant wines, are able to do that more consistently. It's a bit of a concern with our warmer inland areas, because they are under more challenge and they're making wine more often in very, very hot seasons. So it's a technical challenge really for our growers and our makers to deal with shorter, sharper ripening seasons, more grapes, more varieties ripening at once. That essentially means that our processing facilities need to be twice as big, because whereas a vintage would occur over a 2-month period historically, that's now condensed into a 1 month. So we're getting the same amount of wine coming in twice as quickly. So we need twice as many crushers and destemmers and twice as many fermenters. So these are big changes that involve a lot of money. And unfortunately at the same time as we're going through this adjustment with the strong Australian dollar in export markets, we are having to, I guess, promote our top end, but it's getting more and more expensive relative to wines out of Europe, US and so forth, our competitors. So we really do have to, one, produce lots of quality, and two, talk up that quality message, which is, I guess, one of the reasons that I'm in here in Singapore today.
And so technology will be playing a very key role in farming better wine qualities.
As a lot of thought has to go into the manipulation and the operation of the canopy in the vineyard. In the last 20 years we've gone very much to a narrow hedge with a lot of sunshine, a lot of exposure on fruit. Now we're getting too much sunburn, so we're having to produce more foliage, if you like, in the canopy, which is what we were doing more in the 1970s and early 1980s. So there's been a bit of a back to the future situation with viticulture in our warm areas.
With more wines produced to meet the demand both domestic and international markets, do you think that prices will stabilize, or do you feel that inflation will take root?
Question. Across the board, the Australian wine industry needs prices to go up. There's not a lot of return on investment being made in the Australian wine industry at the moment. So what we need to do is to make more top-end wine and more middle wine in the middle of the market, and to make more of that. That's where we make money. We don't make money putting in wine that we're selling here for 14, 15. There's no money's been made there. But what we need is to really, really push that middle sector where we can be successful and competitive, and our wine companies can actually make a profit, which they haven't been doing for a very, very long time. So we actually need prices to go up. That doesn't happen without marketing. We have to be here, we have to be all over Asia, telling people why our wines are good, and we're not doing enough of that.
So the future for wines, let's say 2012, which is just around the corner.
Yes.
As a wine critic, do you feel, what is your consensus about the future of wines? Do you believe that the entire wine industry is moving towards middle and premium wine prices? Is that what you're going to see?
Australia has to lift up. If Australia stays as being a largely bulk producing, low price producing country, then it will go broke. The wine industry will go broke. There's no question. The top end will survive, but this lower tier, bottom of the pyramid, needs to move up into that middle area. We have the capacity to do that, but it's hard to do when your currency is expensive, when your competitors are able to be quite, like Chile, South Africa and Argentina, are able to slide in underneath us, and Southern Europe able to slide in underneath us. It creates nervousness in Australia, knowing that we have to get more expensive than these people.